So, this weekend we're going to study the Kaivalya Upanishad. So, these are primary source literature for Advaita Vedanta. The Upanishads, there's a bunch of ways of dealing with the etymology. I like the one Upanishad, to sit down near, meaning we sit down at the foot of the teacher and learn this science of self-knowledge. Veda Anta, the concluding portion of the Vedas. So, where do they fit? The Upanishad, the Vedas can be classified into 3, sometimes 4 sections, depending on how you want to do it. The first part is the mantra portion, which are the hymns in it. Then we have the Brahmanas, which are rubrics. They're directions for priests for doing ritual by and large. So you need 2 priests for this one. You build the altar this way with this many bricks. You need to do this mantra here and that mantra there, etc., etc., etc. Aranyakas means the forest literature. And sometimes people include the Upanishads in that. Sometimes people say the Upanishads is a 4th section. And there are 108 Upanishads that the pundits have said these are bona fide Upanishads. Other scholars sometimes say over 230. Many of them occur more than once in different Vedas. So, for example, this Upanishad appears in 2 places. It appears in the Krishna Yajur Veda, the Black Yajur Veda. In that particular form, it has 26 mantras, and that it also appears in the Atharva Veda with 24 mantras. And you'll see in Swamiji's commentary on them, we'll do 24 verses, and then there's, as it were, a second chapter with the additional 2 verses that occur in the Yajur Veda. This one's old, very, very old. Our oldest of the Upanishads are the Brihad Aranyaka and the Chandogya. Those, golly, may be as old as 1500, maybe 2000 BC, maybe even older. There's kind of a second wave of knowledge that happens around 1000 BC, maybe no later than 500 BC. And we have texts like the Kathopanishad and this particular Upanishad occur in that. So this is pretty old, probably 1000 BC, a 3,000-year-old text. There's not much in this world that people are still finding of value. It's that old. As we look at the Upanishads, we have 11 that we call the principal Upanishads. And that doesn't mean they're more important than the other ones. Who knows why we call them the principal Upanishads? It's because Shankara wrote a commentary on them. It's the only reason. And after Shankara wrote a commentary on them, then other people have written commentaries, and they've written commentaries on the commentaries, and commentaries on the commentaries on the commentaries. So you can get very lost in all that, if you wish. And various schools of philosophy will write commentaries, arguing back and forth. So Shankara did not write a commentary on the Kaivalya Upanishad. So it's considered a minor Upanishad, not because it's less important, but only because Shankara didn't do a commentary on it. The topic of it is meditation. So it will fit right in with what we're going to be doing this weekend. Who can tell me what the Sanskrit word Kaivalya means, or Kaivalya? Got to speak up. I'm deaf as a post.
Solely or only?
Yes. Alone or soul. There are two ways to look at it. It can mean the fact that a person withdraws from the world into the forest. This is very cool because here we are in a forest. This is much like the Himalayan forests in the foothills. It's very similar. Very lucky to meditate. But it also refers to the absolute, that there's only one of us here, an absolute aloneness. So that's the topic that we're going to be looking at. Now, there are two chants that I want us to learn this evening. The first one, many of you will already know. We do 3 verses from the Guru Stotram because we always start, or I always start my study with prostrations to my Guru. So let's chant that one together. You should have a copy of that. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Eva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatparam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Now there are many verses to this lovely hymn. It's on YouTube. So it's called the Guru Stotram if you want to listen to the whole thing. Now, each one of the Upanishads has a mangalam, a blessing, has a Shanti mantra at the beginning. So there's one that's associated with this particular Upanishad, Om Bhadram Karnebi. So I'll chant, everybody take it out and take a look. It's a little tricky. And we'll do this before each of our Upanishad classes. So I'll chant the first one and then you repeat after me. Om Bhadram Karnebi Shrunuyama Devaha. Together. Om Bhadram Karnebi Shrunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatraha. Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatraha. Sthiraya Rangai Stushtvagam Sastanubihi. Sthiraya Rangai Stushtvagam Sastanubihi. Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayuhu. Vyashema Deva Hitam Yadayuhu. Swastina Indro Vridhashravaha. Swastina Indro Vridhashravaha. Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi. Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi. Swasti no brahaspatir dadhatu. Swasti no brahaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, let's try the whole thing together. Om Bhadram Karnevi Shrinyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashyemakshabhirya Jatraha. Sthirairangai Sushnuvagam Sasnanubihi. Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu. Swasti na Indro Vridhashravaha. Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha. Swasti nastarsho arishtanemihi. Swasti no brahaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Very good. Very good. So you started on your study of Sanskrit, for those of you who have. So let's start at the very beginning. And Ganesh, would you chant for us this evening? Sure. And then we're going to need someone to read the English translations. For those of you who haven't worked with me before, I have macular degeneration and I can no longer read. So the Lord has brought me people who can chant much better than I ever could to help out. So we just did the Shanti mantra. So starting with the first verse.
Om Atha Swalayano Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasamet Yovacha.
Then Asvalayana approached Lord Parameshti, the creator, Brahma, and said, Just continue reading the whole thing?
Yeah. So this is the context. All of our Upanishads are written in the form of a dialogue between a teacher and the taught, much like the Socrates dialogues of Plato. So here, the Guru is Brahma, the Creator himself. So he is going to be asked, what is the highest knowledge? Going on, next one.
Adhihi Bhagavan Brahma Vidyam Varishtham Sada Sabdihi Sevyamanam Nigudam Jaya Chirat Sarva Papam Vyapohya Parat Param Purusham Yati Vidvan.
O Bhagavan, teach me the highest science of reality, cultivated always by the good people, which is ever a hidden secret for man, a knowledge by which a wise man, discarding all sins, can reach the highest Purusha.
Yes. So, what is Purusha? Purusha, this is a word that's very, very old. Our first reference to it is in the Rig Veda. We have a hymn there called the Purusha Sudkam. It actually means person, but it has come to mean the spiritual essence in human beings. In Gita, one of the chapters or one of the names that Krishna goes by is Purushottama, Uttama Purusha, ultimate essence of being a person. So what we're going to look at is, who are you? What is it that makes you you? What is the ultimate essence of you being a person? We don't mean a personality here. We don't mean an ego sense. We mean something much, much deeper. Now, there are lots of things we can know in the Vedas. The Vedas have been given to us because they give us the entire breadth of human knowledge. Medicine, politics, relationships, how to become wealthy, how to cure diseases, all sorts of things. Even in the science of yoga, lots of things you can learn that are put forward. You can learn to raise the kundalini. You can learn about your chakras. You can practice asana. Do a lot of healing for your body. You can gain occult powers. People who acquire siddhis, levitating, flying through the air, etc. All sorts of powers. But here, we're not going to deal with any of those. We're going to deal with a particular knowledge. What was the knowledge that he asked about? What's it called?
Science of reality.
Brahmavidya. Yes. What is the knowledge of the ultimate Brahman, which is the same as the Purusha? So what? Why would I want to know this knowledge? Because in the end, this is the knowledge that finally brings the human heart to rest. In the Christian tradition, St. Augustine says, our hearts are restless until they rest in thee. Now, you wouldn't be here unless to some degree you had what I call the divine discontent. The divine discontent. Many of us enter the spiritual path because we're looking for something else to fix our lives. I've tried psychotherapy, I've tried Pilates, I'm doing sound therapy, I did crystals last year, I may take a pranayama class, and then, maybe I'll do a little meditation, and then I'm going to do Tai Chi after that. We have friends who do that sort of stuff. They go from one system, one healing system to another in an attempt to fix their lives. I want to be more loving. I don't want to be so angry. I want to finally be able to get along with husband or wife, or get rid of husband or wife, whatever it is that you need to do. Want a better job, etc. And that's fine. Listen very carefully. No one enters the path of yoga with pure motives. The ego is incapable of a pure motive. No blame. But along the way, something happens. In the beginning, I think perhaps Brahmavidya is the biggest band-aid. That's what's going to fix it, so I can get on with my life. But somewhere along the line, whether we even realize it, everything goes whoosh. and we become hungry for the infinite. We become what the scriptures call a mumukshu. What's a mumukshu?
Burning desire for liberation.
Yes. And then the particulars of my life, my relationship, my marriage, my job, everything. That's where I work stuff out. But I begin to see that the goal is this Brahma Vidya, this highest wisdom. Who is it who's reading? Is that Nimai?
Radha.
Okay, would you read the English again one more time?
O Bhagavan, teach me the highest science of reality, cultivated always by the good people.
Okay, let me stop right there. Forgot this part. This isn't woo-woo. We're going to teach you the science of reality. In the course of this weekend, hopefully you will get a taste of what's real. It's funny, in the beginning I think carpet's real, chairs real, table's real, God, mystery. I'm an atheist agnostic. And in the end, we find God alone is real. It's this world that's the great mystery. All right, going on one more time, finish it.
Which is ever a hidden secret for man.
Yes. So, this Brahma Vidya is a secret. Not that anybody's keeping it a secret. But few people ever even want it. And if someone wants it, to be able to discern a true sacred tradition from all the bogus ones, it's difficult. And then be able to find someone who knows what they're talking about. Because it's subtler than the subtlest. Even though in the end it's the most obvious part of us. It seems so difficult. Without some help to come into that direct understanding and experience. The next part.
A knowledge by which a wise man, discarding all sins, can reach the highest Purusha.
Yes. So, we have these terms in Sanskrit, punya and papam. Punya is usually translated as merit. If you do puja, if you do ritual, you do good deeds, you will accrue merit. If you do bad things or you become ritually impure, then you accrue sin, papa. As yogis, and when I use the word yogi here, a yogi is anyone who aspires to union with the infinite. We want to redefine these terms. Punya, merit, is anything that we do that makes the mind more sattvic, more subtle, more pure. Papam is anything that we do that grossifies my mind. So it's not so much about morality. It's about the simple mechanics of how the mind works. Now, many of us will go through life, perhaps all of us, who have done things that we regret. said things, done things, wish we could take it back. We may feel we're a vulgar person or a gross person. We would like to be purer. This knowledge shows us what part of our being is already pure. When we have this shift in identity, actually even the equipment starts to get pure. So it is the supreme purifier. Was that all the pieces of the verse? All right, next one. This is number 3, right?
Right. Tasmai sa hovacha pitamahascha shraddha bhakti dhyana yogadavaihi.
To him the grandsire, Brahma, said, "Know this by means of faith, devotion, and meditation."
So, the first thing that the Guru does is give us some assignments to become what we call adhikari, to become a fit student. Now, the literary style of an Upanishad is maximum meaning with minimum words. So we'll start with these first 3 ideas of being adhikari. What was the first one? Faith, Shraddha. We have to believe that this is something we can achieve. It's very interesting. Many Indians, of course, have a much greater cultural access to this work. Because it's the heart of their culture. It's really foreign for a lot of Westerners to enter into this. But Indians also have a tremendous liability that a lot of Westerners don't. Westerners usually don't labor under the notion, oh, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to have this. A lot of Indians go, oh no, Mahatma, oh, I'm just a worm. Couldn't happen to be, oh no, Guruji, and our very reverence for it has an unconscious part of it in our minds, couldn't be tough for me. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not pure enough. Who's had those ideas? Drop it. Have faith. Have faith. Second idea? Devotion. Devotion. So the engine of our sadhana is our love, our devotion. You can't do your sadhana just from the neck up. Have to engage the feeling nature. Now, you can love the Guru. You can love a particular Ishta Devata, a particular form of God. Some of us are just not the emotional type, though. Does that mean it's not available to us? Shankara says the constant attempt to live up to our true nature is also a form of devotion. So we can be devoted to an ideal. Here, people today? Yeah. Aren't you devoted to that? See, you're devoted to an ideal. You're devoted to an ideal. Doesn't mean that you have to stand on street corners kissing puppies. So some of us may easily enter into those devotional practices. Others of us, that's not our thing. But you can be devoted without necessarily being sentimental. Any questions about that? And the third one? Meditation, which is what we're going to do this weekend. This is the major place in which we prove in the laboratory of our own direct experience whether or not this knowledge is true or not. So you want to be what Swamiji called a spiritual scientist. Take these ideas as hypotheses. Some of you are scientists. So if you're doing scientific experiment, Jack, you're a scientist. So if you have a hypothesis, what do?
Test them.
Test them. How?
Experiments.
Yes. So meditation is our laboratory where we test these hypotheses. We enter into it with ruthless honesty. Now, are there scientists who have a pet theory and will fudge results in order to get their paper published?
Definitely.
Pardon me?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yogis, we can't do that. Ruthlessly honest. The only person who needs to be convinced is your own mind. Now, with these three are implied the whole range of the qualifications of a fit student. And my favorite articulation of them comes from Vivekachudamani, one of the great texts of Adi Shankara. And let's go through them, because they can be of great value. So the first one is Viveka. Who can tell me what Viveka means? Discrimination. So discrimination between the real and the unreal. Nitya, anitya vivechana. And in it Shankara says, Brahma satyam jagan mithya. Firm conviction in the intellect that Brahman alone is real and that the phenomenal world is unreal, illusory, nitya. In the beginning, we can simply start with the phenomenal world is transient. It's temporary. So you, aham, are a changeless reality. Anything knowable is a changing reality. Swamiji used to say, the Einsteinian world of flux. Everything is moving. One of the words we have is jagat. Because it goes jump. It's always moving. So in order to discriminate in your meditation, I am the subject. Anything I can be aware of is an object. anityam, not eternal. If it's in the physical world of objects, if it's in the world of energy, prana, if it's a feeling, if it's an idea, it's not self. Real simple. Everybody look at the table. Who sees the table? Are you a table? No, you're the one looking at the table. So go through all of your equipments in meditation. Whatever comes up, if you can know it, if it occurs in time and space, if it has a beginning and an end, if it's a sensation, a feeling, a thought, let it go. See if you can have this radical reversal of attention to find out, Koham, who am I? This process is called Viveka. Second qualification of the fifth student, Vairagya. The root is raga. Raga means passion. It's not a negative word. We have musicians here? Yes? All right, if you've ever gone to listen to Indian music, what do you call the melodic formula? Ragas, yes. It's not bad. Beautiful. So V is a prefix. It's a superlative. So Vairagya means also the opposite. Means, it's usually translated as dispassion. But it means we're taking our passion to a higher place. Let me see if I can give you an example, a worldly example of Vairagya. Who here, as a child, had a tricycle? Did you get a two-wheel bicycle at some point? Yes? What happened to your passion for the tricycle? Maybe you rode your bike all over town until you were 16. You were here in the States. Maybe your parents got you a car. What happened to the bicycle when you got in the car? Until you started to get fat and you got the bicycle out again. So this is the essence in Vairagya. It's never accomplished by some sort of thin-lipped asceticism. Look at me, I'm just giving stuff up. And you can feel it in people. You can feel it in people who are suppressing. That's not Vairagya. Swamiji used to talk about sublimating our desires. My favorite example happened to me. It's Friday night and I'm in the dorm room and I've got a paper due Monday. My friends come by and say, we're going out for pizza and beer. I love pizza and beer. But I really wanted to do well on the paper. So, what was the greater desire? No, I'm going to stay in, finish my paper. So we let go of lesser things for something that brings us greater joy. This is Vairagya. Vairagya is accomplished through insight. So when I'm restless, irritable, discontent, angry at the world, miserable because I don't have what I want, frustrated because the world won't behave, That's from a lack of viveka, discrimination. And I have no vairagya. And I try to make the world conform. Because I'm stupid. I don't see what's going on. My mind is caught up in ignorance. It's that simple. So, vairagya is the desire to give up all attachments to enjoyments. It doesn't say we don't enjoy, but give up the attachments to all enjoyments, gain through all the senses, and the desire to let go of any sense of identification with any form of self, from the physical body up to and including Brahma, the creator, meaning I want to be a powerful person. This is not about self-esteem. This is not about self-improvement. This is finding the incredible peace that comes by letting go of any idea of self. This is Vairagya. Then we have a group of 6 called Shamari Guna, Satsampati, the inner wealth of 6. And we'll go through them briefly. The first is Shama. This is when we keep the mind intensely introverted, keeping the sense organs and the sense centers. So when an object of desire comes by, the ignorant person does is go, slobber all over it. Good-looking boy, good-looking girl. When you get to be my age, chocolate cake. But no, keep the sense organs residing in the sense centers. Shama. Second one is Dhamma. When I'm sitting at home alone and Haagen-Dazs ice cream comes to my mind, do I start to obsess on it? The next thing I know, I'm walking to Whole Foods to get some ice cream. No, let it go. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Again, keeping the mind introverted. This culminates in Uparati. Is Kali Om here yet?
No, not tonight.
Not tonight, okay. Uparati is the same as Pratyahara in Hatha Yoga, sense withdrawal. So in our meditation seat, the capacity to bring all the sense organs interiorly so we're not disturbed by what's on the outside. But Shankara says the best Uparati is when we're functioning in the world. And what we see, all the sense phenomena, doesn't agitate our mind. We just let that sense data pass through. The next one is titiksha, which means forbearance. The ability to endure the vicissitudes of life, those little pinpricks, without the need for redress or revenge. Somebody cheats you. We spend weeks. Someone says something unkind to you. Can't get over it. Someone hits your car in a parking lot. So we have a point of power with titiksha. What comes to us is our own karma. It's the force of our own past maturing. But what we do with that can make all the difference in the world. If we go down the rabbit hole of redress and revenge, we only perpetuate stuff. So to learn to let it go, to drop it, to tiksha. Shraddha, faith. We've talked a little bit about that. The word Shraddha has one more element to it. Shankara says it is by Shraddha that the truth is revealed to the Shishya, the disciple. And the reason is, if the student has the capacity to enter into where the teacher goes, then the teacher can show the student the awakened state of mind. Let me give you a more worldly example. I love Beethoven. Go to the symphony, and my favorite Beethoven symphony is actually the third. And the second movement is so sad, this wonderful funeral march. How do I know that it's sad? Beethoven wrote these notes. The orchestra plays them. But my mind can go where Beethoven's mind went. If you can read poetry, who here likes to read poetry? You see, if you can tune in to what the poet is talking about, that's your Shraddha. Frequently, I'll use the example if you go to Ocean Beach in San Francisco on a beautiful fall day, and the wind is coming off the ocean, and there's all that ozone, and the air is so clear, and oh, that's why I live in the Bay Area, it's so cool. Who's had that experience? See, that's your Shraddha, that you can go where my mind went. So, for example, after some time work being with Swamiji, I was able to open and enter into where he was. Oh, he was so empty. You can go where the teacher goes. That's your Shraddha. Shama, Dhamma, Upadati, Pratiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. A peaceful state of mind when it rests in steady contemplation of the goal and is not to be attained by any amount of mental oscillation. So this weekend, or sometimes when you read scripture or commentary, you'll come upon an idea and you won't understand it. And what your mind will want to do is gnaw on it like a bone. Doesn't mean this, doesn't mean that, doesn't mean this, doesn't mean that, doesn't mean this, doesn't mean that. Or maybe in life you're faced with a decision. You're offered a new job. And then you're offered another new job. Do I take this one? Do I take that one? Do I take this one? Do I take that one? Who's had those experiences? See, that oscillation of the mind. It's just noise. We want to be able to let it go. Peaceful state of mind when it rests in steady contemplation of the goal. Not when Yeah, but what about this? Yeah, but what about that? Sort of stuff. And then the last of the qualifications of a fit student, we've already talked about mumukshutva, the burning desire for liberation. Now, when I first heard these, I went, oh my God, I'm not even a fit student. What kind of a yogi am I going to be? Don't worry. All of yoga is becoming a fit student. Finally, when you're a fit student, self-realization drops in your palm like that. All right. How many mantras have we covered?
2.
We've only done 2 mantras. Only 2 mantras?
Yeah.
We have a little more time. Okay, next one.
न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागैनैके अमृतत्वाम् अंशुः परेण नाकं निहितं गुहायं विभ्राजते यध्यतयो विशान्ति.
Not by work, nor by progeny, nor by wealth, but by renunciation alone, immortality is attained. Higher than heaven, seated in the cave of the intellect, shines which the seekers attain.
Okay, so in this mantra, the Rishi is dealing with a very important point. This list of activities and acquisitions are representatives of all the various actions we can take. And what the Upanishad is giving us is this knowledge is not the result of action. Why? Because my problem is spiritual ignorance. My problem is the non-apprehension of my essential nature, what we call avidya. Because of the Lord's Maya Shakti, we're born into a state of ignorance of our essential nature. Okay. I'm thinking of a song lyric. How many jumping jacks do you have to do to know the song lyric I'm thinking of? How many yoga classes do you have to take to know the song lyric I'm thinking of? How many pilgrimages to Badrinath, Yamunotri, Kedarnath? How many baths in the Ganges do you have to take to know the song lyric? How many mantras do you have to chant? When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Now, do you know the song lyric? Yeah. How did you find the song lyric? Knowledge. So, actions will not enlighten you because the problem is ignorance. What's the antidote to ignorance? Knowledge. There's a very famous story about a king who liked to drink wine and smoke dope. So at night, he'd get really drunk and loaded, and he went to bed. Someone's phone ringing? And he awakened in the middle of the night. He was still drunk. And he calls out to the ministers, "Come, bring servants to sweep the darkness out of my chamber. It's dark in here." Of course, it's the king. They got to do what he said. Oh, come in, sweeping away. Not successful. Why can't you sweep away darkness? Because action is not opposed to darkness. What do you do to get rid of darkness? Light. So, this is incredibly important. I'm not saying we shouldn't go on pilgrimages. I'm not saying we shouldn't have sons, progeny. I'm not saying we shouldn't do asana. We shouldn't chant mantras, shouldn't do puja. Of course, but these are preparatory exercises. They purify our nervous system. They purify the head and heart. They sharpen the wonder sword so that we can discriminate. A lot of people get caught up in not understanding this. The problem is spiritual ignorance. The antidote is knowledge of myself, not as information, but as a direct experience. So will you read the English one more time? Make sure I got all the pieces.
Not by work, nor progeny, nor by wealth, but by renunciation alone, immortality is attained.
Yes. So what is it that we renounce? In the end, the thing to be renounced is the mind. It's my attachment to stuff. Causes the mind to continue to agitate. So in meditation, sit there. Whatever comes up, I'm going to let it go. Okay, I think we'll quit here, and then we finish 3?
Yes.
Mantra 3. All right. Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha. Hari Om.